What's he doing?
This is me without it. My jacket on.
Figure of fun. Oh, darling, what a transformation.
Cheeky.
Come into the window, come into the door.
Mummy beautiful.
Look at Auntie Anne. You look positively regal.
Oh, darling. Rival okay.
Could you just stand
jacket.
aside? Anne? Both together, please. That's lovely.
Wait a minute, the boat is there. Shall I put him in? Can I put him in? I can't.
I don't know if this is right. Perhaps you'll be able to better.
No good asking me on, but I'm not really it's got to be.
Any comments from the best man?
Yep, looking forward to it. Can't wait.
Don't talk to him, man.
Vacation?
Yeah.
Not having more than this
declaration, followed by the giving of the rings, a few more words, and sign. It's lovely. You've got a nice bit of sun still at the moment, so it couldn't be better for you to put it on. Put the ring on to Anne's left hand. Give him a hand. Hold her hand tightly, Sterling, with the ring, dear. If you say again after me, I call upon these persons here present to witness that I, Sterling Bryan, do take thee, Anne Backhouse, to be my lawful, wedded wife. And right to do the same there, Anne. Slip it onto Sterling's left hand. So dear, hold hands tightly with the two rings and say again after me, Anne. I call upon these persons here present to witness that I, Anne Backhouse, do take thee, Sterling Bryan, to be my lawful, wedded husband. Thank you very much. And now, Angela, it's my pleasure to announce you husband. I won't tell you what to do all of it. That's it, Jane. I must admit, it was very difficult not to smile, you know. Yes, it's true. It's always having followed with the words, you know.
Actually, I know what we see.
What, Anne?
Can we let him out, Anne? Can I have...
Oh, actually, Anna ought to be sitting down for this one. Oh, did you want her in your picture?
We normally say no.
I didn't get it when you put it, you never let us stop it.
Come down now.
Oh, you missed that, Justin.
Very much. Oh no!
Come on.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, she's oh, yeah, all new suits.
I'm very good in now.
I can't get him off the steering wheel.
Normally do this kind of thing. They have
Right, it's just to have
Matt! Matt!
And he'd gone to somebody give me directions.
get one of you. You get one for you.
Right.
Okay. I get one more for luck. Putting faces at me.
She looks great, actually.
Thank you. No, I'm with my lady.
Quite sort of ruggedly handsome.
10 years younger.
Okay, I'm just framing it at the moment.
What? There's a boy? Can't wait for him. Oh, come on. Send them on.
Do you want an interview? So far, so good. I'm looking forward, I must admit, I am looking forward to the best man speech.
What are the benefits? Tell me what the benefits.
Very nice.
Pilots in the EPS
25. Before the bird, we go to various classes.
Friends and ladies and gentlemen of all ages, there is a widespread belief that in the eyes of their fathers, daughters can do no wrong. Just as mothers are supposed to see no fault in their sons. So it will not surprise you that I see Anne as being without fault. As it were, a pearl without price. Except that today, in view of what she's wearing, we should perhaps change that to an emerald. And so it seemed to me right, in fact it seemed to be an obligation laid upon me, that I should look very carefully indeed at any young swain who came trailing his coat across her path. So it happened that 6 years ago that Janet and I, with Anne, met the groom for the first time in a pub in the West End, full of noisy city workers just released from their offices. Over the years, Anne has kept her cards, namely her boyfriend, very close to her chest. And Janet and I have rarely been allowed to meet the current suitor. So this was obviously a special occasion. Moreover, there were signs that Anne had been cured at long last of her itchy feet and might even be ready to settle down. If this young man was anything more than a passing fancy, this could be serious. So we met, had a drink, moved to a restaurant for a hurried meal, and ended up at the theatre. Though please don't ask me what we saw, because I haven't the faintest idea. On the way home, Janet and I compared notes. And not for the first time, we were of very different opinions. For Janet, there was really very little problem. He was clean. He was courteous. And he was competent. Sterling had passed Janet's first hurdle with no difficulty at all. I, for my part, was very sceptical. The cleanliness was a whiff of aftershave, which I never use anyway. The courtesy meant that he was a creep. And the confidence smacked of cocksure. So what was wrong with Sterling, apart from the fact that I always had difficulty in remembering how to spell both his names? Snag number one was his height. Not compared with Titchy Anne, but compared with me. I may be shrinking now as the years pass, but I was once 6 feet and enjoyed being taller than most other people. I was hardly likely to enthuse over a young man who at 6'4" had the nerve to look down on me. Snag number two was his profession, a health economist. One of those snoopers who come round measuring your activities and then tell you how to do them both quicker and cheaper. As a doctor who always enjoyed bossing his patients around and rarely thought twice about what it was costing the National Health Service, how could I like, even tolerate, this whippersnapper telling me I was too extravagant? Snag number three became evident when we ordered a meal. This young man was a vegetarian. And what made it worse was that Anne, who had happily lived off zebra and crocodile while in Kenya, ordered a vegetarian meal too. I hastily looked under the table to make sure that he wasn't wearing sandals and no socks. I suppose we've all become more vegetarian in our eating habits recently, but I couldn't help wondering how many tons of lettuce you had to eat to reach 6'4". So there we were, we'd hardly known each other half an hour, and there were 3 major snags. Worse, much worse, was to come. Anne and Sterling were talking excitedly about where they had been the previous Saturday. The opera, you think? A concert? A football match? Not, you hope, a demo. Not on your life. They had been to the races at Kempton Park. And what's more, they had come home better off than when they went there. So this was snag number 4. The man was an out-and-out gambler who would spend every penny of my daughter's hard-earned savings and then dump her. All that was 6 years ago. And though Sterling hasn't changed very much, apart from a few grey hairs, I have even more grey hairs. What has happened in the intervening years to make me change my mind and reconcile myself to Sterling's glaring faults? First and most important, Anne has not wavered in her love for Sterling. Janet and I have learnt over the years to respect Anne's judgment. And if she has stayed loyal to Sterling, which she has, then we are happy to accept her decision. Moreover, it has become increasingly obvious to us that Sterling has come to feel the same way about Anne. These are two people who love each other dearly, and it is right that this should be confirmed to us all by their marriage. Of course, for a long time it looked as though this wouldn't happen, and that Anne and Sterling would continue to live happily together without the shackles of marriage. But then Anne found that she was pregnant, and their relationship moved into top gear. It was a delight, a great delight to Janet and I to watch our daughter mellow, soften, mature if you like, into the splendid mother that she is today.
Yeah.
And as for Dad, his care of and attention to Anne were beyond reproach. It all augured very well for their unborn child. Then young Douglas appeared on the scene, and he has stolen the show wherever he appears, including today. At many weddings, there must be nerve-wracked parents of bride and groom who think to themselves, while outwardly all smiles, we hope they know what they're doing. And they cross their fingers in apprehension. Such thoughts do not trouble us today. There are no crossed fingers here. This marriage is getting off to a flying start. These three, Anne, Sterling and Douglas, make a wonderful, a lovely little family. And I have asked you to rise and drink their health. Anne, Douglas and Sterling.
I'd like to thank you for that. I feel quite emotional. Anyway, I'll continue. I wanted just to say a few words about my blushing bride, and also the traditional few thank yous. Anne and I have been together for some 6 years now. And while thinking about what I would say today about Anne, I thought it was appropriate to concentrate on what I viewed as her most endearing features. And other than her obvious beauty, and her terrific personality, I thought I would focus on her patience and her ability to surprise. First of all, her patience. I think many of you will know that we've spent many a happy Christmas time with Justin and Helen. And one particular Christmas in Sheffield comes to mind when I think it's fair to say that Anne revealed probably some of her best and equally some of her worst features. For example, I think we've never played Monopoly since the game when Anne lost and stormed off to bed. But anyway, the important thing about the Christmas is the gift that Father Christmas brought for Matthew and Thomas, a Scalextric set, which was enjoyed enormously by Justin and myself. So much so that we went off on Boxing Day, excitedly, to buy some new cards for the Scalextric set. But unfortunately, of course, on Boxing Day there were no shops open. But there was one place open that we found that Justin twisted my arm to go in, which was a pub. And we went in there in the middle of the afternoon, and we left at the end of the evening with regular phone calls home to say that we're just on our way. And on arriving home, Anne showed her patience. I think you'll have to ask Justin whether Helen shows. Now to Anne's second endearing characteristic to me, her ability to take me by surprise. And I've got two little stories to tell. First of all, our very, very first date. We were well, we'd known each other for a little while since we worked together at St Thomas's. And I booked a little exclusive Italian restaurant on Russell Square. I'd booked some cinema tickets to go and see a film afterwards.